Hello everyone, once again it's Chronospade, and the meta has changed. With the meta changing, there's only one thing to do really. We are retiring and we're playing swords. No, I'm kidding. No. You read the title, you know it's going down. Today I will be going over my updated Solfachord deck profile and such, showcasing the best way to play Solfachord this format with Sword Soul and whatnot running around. I will be explaining choices and how to really play the deck masterfully this format, all that good stuff that will help you play control Solfachord to the best of your ability. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now we have 5 duels here that we are going to breeze through, and I will just explain things as they go along. So here we are playing against a Invoke Shaddoll Dogmatica player, but our hand is pretty good and they don't have hand traps, meaning we do kind of get to pop off. We'll add the Gracia for your basic combo of Activate Elegance for second effect, send Gracia, they cannot Ash. And so we set up our scales, we go Dream Mia, and this can allow us to make DPE or something. Maybe. Make Masquerena. No, that's a good move. So summon Gracia, summon Dream Mia, and then summon our Luna. And so Gracia adds, we take these 3 into Appaloosa, and set 2 pass turn. So, unfortunately I don't think our opponent was very smart about the way they played this. So they activate Meltdown, we go, yeah, Meltdown's fine, we're not really gonna hit that, he can add Alistair, we can just negate Alistair. But then he activates Shaddoll Fusion, which, like, that's fine. So, summons these 2, goes into App Cologne, goes App Cologne 1 on our Appaloosa, Dragon 2, Wendy 3. Dragon is going to be targeting our Solfachord Musica here, which is completely fine because all it is a pop 1, and we can just use that at the very moment. So we'll just negate the Wendy and then use our Musica. But we use it for its even effect, a special summon face up Solfachord Pendulum from with an even scale from your extra deck. This lets us summon Gracia so we can plus a bit instead of just creating interruption, since we already have our Appaloosa and our Solemn Strike, and this Luna here. So we get the add of our field spell for next turn, because our field spell provides great follow-up, but then they just go straight into battle phase, which I think was not the correct option. Had they normal summon Alistair, we probably would have had to Solemn Strike it, and then he could have activated either Fusion Destiny or Dogmatica Ecclesia, and then he'd be in a much better position than how he ended, because now he normal summons, we negate, and then he activates Fusion Destiny for DPE. And this is where the one of Luna, that you will see more of later, comes into play. People only play one Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. So, if you just get them to activate their Enforcer first, then you Luna them, they have to bounce it. So he has to read it, and then I'm pretty sure we misplayed it because he's still supposed to destroy. So you probably could have destroyed like App Cologne in one of my scales or something. That wouldn't have mattered. We'd still have relatively the same board. Minus the fact that Appaloosa has literally no attack. But anyways, we're just gonna normal summon the Cutia we drew. We're gonna go Harmonia, and we're kinda just gonna destroy him. Oh yeah, and he just leaves. Makes sense. Anyway, so our play probably would have been to end summon all of these, and then, you know, we just swing for game probably. Unless we want to take Appaloosa and Cutia into Verte and then make DP. So for our next replay, we are playing against a Shark player, which was a very interesting and fun duel. Do note that these are all rated games, so there is a lot on Dueling Book Rated. But we will be going first. We'll go through our Diviner combo. And so we normaled the Diviner first, and then activated Prosperity because he did not Ash the Diviner. So we just assume that he does not have the Ash. But he did have the Ash, he saved it for the Prosperity, which was unfortunate, so we had to use Trias in hand. but then we're just ending up playing the slow game with our DPE as well. So we'll just save our scales for another turn. So we summon DPE past turn, and really there was not much they could do. We just kind of solemn strike them, and then they did not have a hand to play through that. But I will fast forward through my opponent's turn here, and he does set up a pretty good board. He hard draws Solemn Scolding, which is very interesting. We do have the one Veiler that we use on the Bahamut Shark, but it really doesn't matter because he just sets up anyways. So he gets his Toad here, and he gets the Utopic Draco Future. And so right off the bat, we are going Imperm on our main phase, just to bait the interruption of Totally Awesome. And we have double Elegance in hand, unfortunately, but we should be able to resolve Prosperity now. Oh, but he activates Solemn Scolding, and so we have to set and pass. And so, we'll Solemn Strike his Buzzsaw Shark, and he just has to attack directly. And so, with the draws there wasn't really much we could do. And now it's on to game 3. We draw Double Judgment, Cutia, Prosperity, Veiler, while he has Evenly Dark Ruler, which is a bit troublesome, but we're not playing too hard here unless we get the Elegance. If we get the Elegance, then yeah, we're really going to be playing into Evenly. We had no idea he had it. But Evenly is really good for this format, especially with Imperial Order running around. I think that's been played a bit more often just because spells aren't used as much. So we'll set our scales, special the Gracia. Gracia will allow us to have Harmonia, and we'll save that and just make DPE here. DPE is just an insane card, really. The amount of control it just gives your board is absolutely insane. So, you know, he just goes Evenly. He said enter battle phase, and I already knew he was going to drop the Evenly, but we had Double Judgment, so we didn't have to worry too much about it. And he goes Dark Roller, so we'll Judgment that as well. Then he has Ready Fusion, and there just wasn't too much he could do here after. And he made a bit of a misplay and ended up quitting, unfortunately. But he could not summon Nettle after Angler. I think if he summoned Nettle before Angler, he would have been fine, because I would have DPE'd his Bahamut Shark on summon, and then he would have made another, which is kind of just the beauty of this card, that it's only soft once per turn. But alas, we do win those. On to the next replay. We are going to be going second, so we'll fast forward through our opponent's turn. And they are playing Live Twin here. So they'll go through their entire Live Twin combo, and as you can see, we are on Double Prosperity, Torrential, Elegance, Celestial, which is not a good hand. So right off the bat, we need to go for the Prosperity because we need something good. They do not negate it, which is a good sign. And we do end up running into the Gracia, but we also end up running into our Diviner. Now, this was not really a misplay on my part. This was more me being greedy. They did not have a hand trap in hand. But I decided to take Diviner because I knew that Trouble Sunny could not hit Diviner. And if I got Diviner off, then I could have DPE on board ready to play. But once Prosperity resolves, he uses Kiss a Kill Frost, and it lets him draw one. But he draws into the Imperm, which is kind of just the end of us. So we'll Diviner, he'll activate that, and then he'll Imperm, which is a really cool tech by the Live Twin player. Just tributing his card so he has no cards on field and he can Imperm. So he'll summon, he'll get rid of our Diviner, and there was really not much we could do after. So we said 2 pass, They send our Solemn Strike, we torrential them, but even so they have complete combo in hand, really. And honestly, there wasn't really much we could do here after, because we got a bit too greedy. Had we gotten the Gracia, it might have ended better, but we definitely got greedy. So here we Prosperity and we got the Gracia, luckily. So we got Elegance for our scales with the Gracia. And this was knowing he had the pop. I wanted to bait that out so I could Fusion Destiny. So he does that, brings it out. He pops my low scale, which is unfortunate, and so we'll just have to Fusion Destiny. We bring out our DPE, go Battle Phase to hit over the red, and then we'll use DPE effect to kill the blue. And he can't use blue's effect to bring the red back out because it's in the battle phase. So it was good getting rid of his field, but besides DPE we had little to no follow-up. So now he goes Trouble Sunny effect, and we have to activate DPE or else he's gonna just completely remove our DPE. And so we just destroy his set card, but he sends our scale, and he still has combo in hand. He also has this draw, and so there's really nothing we can do, and we end up kind of just losing, because he's just gonna go through combo, and he has lethal by just summoning Trouble Sunny. And so game 2 we have Summon Limit, Solemn Strike, Scales, and Veiler. So unfortunately we did not really get a play, but we do have something to stop him. I made a misplay here by not taking this into Link Karibo, but that's just how it is. Because he goes Leela and we just Solemn Strike it. And so that causes him to pass turn. Then we get the Elegance, which I wish we could have used, but since Cudia got negated, we could not use it. You never want to send your Coolia to the extra deck, because you can't summon it without your field spell, which you only play one of. So now we go into Link Karibo, and we Elegance for a Cudia. We should have done this later on, but we didn't. And we'll normal our Veiler into Verte. This was kind of just to put Link Karibo in the grave, because something you can do is normal Cudia, use the effect. If they try and target with a Veiler, you Link Karibo so that Cudia is no longer on the field, and everything resolves. So that's just a DPE to the face. And then, like, by here, nothing matters because we just activate Summon Limit. We have our Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer, and there wasn't anything he could do about it. So now they go first again. They're gonna set up their entire board plus like an Imperm. And you know, you just have to watch them set up. Wasn't really much. But yeah, so our turn, we normal summon the Cudia, and so we get our scale, and they get the draw one. And I probably should have activated Feather Duster sooner, because if he activated Imperm on Cudia, that was not going to be the best outcome. So we take damage thanks to Sunny Snitch and Feather Duster, and so he just Imperms our Cudia, and this is where I really mess up. I put my scales in the wrong place. I wanted the you can't negate on the left side where the Imperm column was, so that I could still have my speed spell 4 on my Pendulum Summon. But I did not do that. I majorly misplayed here. And so we end up going Special Summon, make Verte, and then here he gets rid of our Verte because he's more scared of that rather than our entire Pen Summon. And so we Pen 3 here. Gracia gets us the Harmonia, and there was something he was gonna do, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, we do end up clearing his field. And so we go into IP Masquerena here, and we'll just pass. So the thing here is, he's just gonna trouble Sunny, so he gets rid of our Luna, which kind of just ruins our play. We could have gone IP into any of our Link 3s, and possibly used the Luna. But at this point, there's not really much of a fight to be put up, and we kinda just lose. He also does just make Zeus on us. Alright, next up we have this fifth and final duel where our opponent's going first. They're on ABC and they break, which is good for us. So this was a game I felt was really grindy, and it came down to a lot. We got our DPE up and such, but ABC is just quite the deck, really, because they always just plus. And so they've belled our DPE, so there's not really much we can do. And so we seldom strike the summon of ABC Dragon Buster, which is really good. And so we got a Dasher on draw phase, which is really good, but then they have the Gamma, which was unfortunate. So we Celestial for the draw 2, we draw into Luna, which is really good. We just get rid of the Gamma for the damage. And from here, it's kind of just a win battle for us. Even though they destroy our Luna, we are kind of just getting stuff. And we could not activate the Elegance because it was in the Imperm column, we couldn't put it in the Scale column. But overall, everything was starting to go well. So now that happens, special summon, and kind of just dominate. Oh, and then he'll E-Telly to summon the Gamma, so that Dreamia has to hit over it, and Cutia can't. So he goes Field Spell for Union Hanger, but really there's nothing he could do with the Union Hanger. We just pop it with the Musica, and Assault Core does nothing. You see here the play where we IP into Celine, and then Celine can bring back Luna, which is a really nice play. So now it's our turn. We have Gamasiel for the ABC, though we have no idea what his board is going to be, so we'll just let him set it up because this is a very odd match to play. And so we have to... He did not set up the ABC. He did set up Baron though, so we Gamasiel'd that. He ashed our Diviner, and then after that we just didn't really have a play because we drew the Dasher. Unfortunately, the only downside to DPE is that you do draw the bricks, and then when you do, you cry. And so we kind of just have to pass on this, and from here, it's kind of downhill, really. So he gets the Union Hanger, we try and IDP, but he has the Ghost Spell, which is really niche actually. But from here there's not much we can do because he has the Lina, and then he's gonna summon his ABC Dragon Buster, which is not a fun card to deal with. And so we end up losing that, and we go into game 3. So game 3 we have here are Diviner, Solemn, Luna, Angelia, Elegance, which is kinda good. It also just doesn't get hit by an Ash, because you can just Elegance for the Angelia, and then you still have something. So we just play our hand here, and we misclicked on the Coolio, but we'll make Verte, and then this becomes our board, which is honestly pretty good. This was a complete misplay. I definitely meant to summon the level 7, because the level 7 would allow me to make one of his unions banished instead of just sent to the grave, and then they wouldn't be able to trigger their effect. But we summon DPE, set 1, pass, goes battle phase evenly, and then we start evenlying, but then we remember we have judgment, so we use that. And that's honestly just a misplay on my part because whoopsie, I forgore. But he has this spell card that lets him just equip any union monster, but we have the DPE, so it was really just not much use there. Truthfully, Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer just has so much power that it's a really big thing to play. It's not required, but it's such a good card, and as long as it's in the format, we'll probably be playing it. To start, we have 2 Solfachord Quulia. You must play 2 Quulia, no more, no less. It's good as a monster that you can summon, but it's also your best scale, so you need 2 for each use. You should also use it as an extra scale, just in case. Next we have 3 Solfachord Cutia, 3 Ray Solfachord Dreamia. We have 1 Foss Solfachord Fancia. This is not a required card, just my favorite of the Solfachords. Has a cool combo with the field spell that adds any Solfachord to your hand though. Next we play 2 Solfachord Gracia, 1 T Solfachord Beautia, and 1 La Solfachord Angelia. These are your one-ofs of the deck. They're not very important for going first, but they can be pretty good cards for going second and going to an OTK. Gracia should be your priority on turn 1. Next we have 1 Solfachord Harmonia, the field spell, 3 Solfachord Elegance, 3 Pot of Prosperity, 3 Diviner of the Herald, 1 Trias Hyarca, 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Solfachord Musica, 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, 3 Torrential Tribute, 3 Solemn Strike. These are the good traps. I would play 3 IDP, but I think the meta calls more for things like Torrential and Solemn, and they're kind of just better for interrupting your opponent. Next we have 2 Effect Veiler, 1 Fairy Tale Luna, which its use was shown, and 2 Infinite Impermanence, along with 1 of each for the DPE package. Next we have 2 Elder Entity Entis, 1 Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, 1 Shooting Riser Dragon. This is a really good card to use with Crystron Halka Fibrax. It can set up your synchros like Savage Dragon and Baron de Flor if you don't set them up already with your Diviner of the Herald. If you end on this card, there's a lot to let it follow up, since Riser can take basically any level below 7 because of the varying levels of the Solfachord monsters. So now we have the Savage and the Baron de Flor, 1 Linkuriboh, 1 Crystron Halka Fibrax, 1 Predaplan Verte Anaconda for the DPE, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Grand Solfachord Muisc. This is not at all a required card. It is just my favorite card, and it will probably end up getting cut. Next we have 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Selene, Queen of the Master Magicians, which has a cool play with the Fairy Tale Luna. Then we have the Appaloosa and Axis Kotar. For our side deck, we play 3 Summon Limit because we can play it under Summon Limit, 3 Solemn Judgment, 2 Nibiru the Primal Being, 3 Gamasiel, 3 Evenly, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. I don't think Nibiru is the best thing for the current meta, but because I play on a platform like Dueling Book, I have to play Nibiru for all the rogue combo decks that you might discover. I would love to play something like Lava Golem or Sphere Mode, but I simply do not have the ability to just not use my normal summon in most cases. And that will be it for today's video. It was fun to do, and I hope you all learned about the power of Solfachord this format, and also to not draw your DPE engine. This power surely wants to make you leave a like and subscribe, right? Well, fair enough, I guess. If you have any more questions or such, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to get to those. Also, answer if you'd like to see more Dueling Book or some Edo Pro next. I'll see you all next time, and remember, let the musical scale ring forever and ever.